Hi, everyone. My name is Amir Fleischman, and I am the president of the Council of Competitive Intelligence Fellows. With me today is one of the true CI gurus of our time, Ben Gilad. Before we begin our 1 hour conversation, I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this session possible. So let me share the following slides. So Proactive Worldwide examines competitors, suppliers, customers, regulatory issues, and more through advanced competitive market and customer intelligence to deliver a more complete picture of the decision-making environment with a far-reaching perspective that uncovers hidden opportunities and key threats. With 30 plus years of experience, Proactive leverages its own proprietary methodology, a deep bench of researchers and analysts, and in-house industry specialists to produce insights that have real impact. All of us here at the CI Fellows want to express our deep gratitude and thanks for supporting us as a gold partner. Another gold partner is Corporate Insight. Corporate Insight specializes in deep behind the login competitive intelligence, evaluating the digital customer experience across 200 plus institutions in financial services, insurance, and healthcare, to deliver actionable insight for smarter decisions. The firm's research transforms raw competitive data into actionable intelligence that helps product marketing, digital, and strategic teams benchmark their performance, identify gaps, and build better customer experiences. The firm's clients include many of the most recognized financial and healthcare institutions in North America, from traditional and online brokerages to retirement record keepers, from national health plans to regional banks. Corporate Insight works most closely with teams in competitive intelligence, digital strategy, product management, marketing, and compliance. Thank you again to both of our presenting gold sponsors. And if you as an attendee are interested in learning more about either of these top-tier CI and consulting services companies, please reach out to David at Proactive or Andrew at Corporate Insight. The information provided above can also be found on the CI Fellows website at www.cifellows.com under the About Us section. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor yourself, or have a company you'd like to highlight, please contact me or Jeff, and we'll showcase the benefits of being a sponsor. That's it. And now on to today's webinar. So, hang on. I won't even try to cover Ben Gilad's full bio. We'd need an extra hour just to skim it. So what you should know is this. Ben is one of the true pioneers of competitive intelligence, a driving force behind the field's modern theory and practice in the US. He co-founded the Academy of Competitive Intelligence, wrote several of the discipline's foundational books, and previously taught strategy at Rutgers University. His CI models shaped how major corporations operate, and he has advised a long list of Fortune 500 companies. Ben is a CI fellow, of course, a recipient of top industry honors, and widely regarded as one of the field's most influential thinkers and teachers. Ben, do you agree with that?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you talking to me? I don't know. I don't listen.
Okay. So why don't we just warm up with a quick association game to get things flowing? I'll say a word. Yeah.
Is this a psychotherapy session, or is this me and you and me talking about CI?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is us, but I'll say a word or a phrase, and you respond instantly with the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. Life.
We live.
CI career.
Used to be fun.
Personal challenge.
None at my age.
Professional challenge.
Way behind me.
Strategy.
Oh, I love it. Such a misused word.
Competition.
Ah, fact of life.
Losses.
Losses.
Yep.
Something which is not pleasant. Yeah. Okay.
Teaching.
Oh, I love it. My real passion, teaching and writing books.
Oh, the next word was writing.
My second passion.
Academy of Competitive Intelligence. ACI.
Probably my achievement that I'm most proud of, except for a novel that I authored, which I'm even more proud because English is my second language, and writing fiction is way more difficult than writing professional books.
Jan Herring.
Oh, my old partner. Jen and I were yin and yang.
The Skeptical Analyst.
That's my newsletter on LinkedIn, which is fun. I write every 2 weeks. I don't see much value for it to the readers, but apparently they like it. Believe me, I don't know why.
Skip.
Skip it.
Business War Games.
Used to be my main occupation. The academy was always my passion, but the real work was war games with the Fortune 100. And it's kind of declined over the years. And with AI, it's almost off the table. And it's a pity because I loved war games. I mean, you walk into a room in which you don't understand the industry, don't know the people, and you come out of it and you see things they can't. That was my role. I loved it.
AI.
Fuck it.
CEOs.
I met a few that were admirable. I met a few that were ego-driven. In general, I really don't have an opinion on it. It depends upon the personality.
Elon Musk.
I think we owe him a great thanks.
The New York Knicks.
What? I don't watch basketball. I'm sorry. I was born in Israel. I watched soccer. Never understood the idea of 7 foot tall towers dunking being such a challenge.
But 11 players running after a ball.
I watch only the world, the Mondial. I mean, everything else is not. But the Mondial, you watch it for watching the fans, the excitement and the loss when they lose. Oh my God, it's like their entire life went up in flame.
Your ultimate passion.
Teaching and writing.
The
And my
future.
wife, but that's a different topic. So keep it off the table.
Okay. The future.
I'm glad that I will not be here to watch it that many years from now. I'm worried about my kids' future.
And last but not least, cranky old man.
What?
Cranky old man.
What's Frankie old? Cranky old man. That's
Oh,
my motto, my logo, my signature in life. But as you found out, there are exceptions.
well, that's what she said.
Very
Okay.
good line.
Okay. Thank you for the candid answers, Ben. Now let's move on to the main questions. Thank you so much for playing with me.
Sure.
Okay. Back to real life and to some, a sad part of life. We recently lost a CI giant whom you just called a partner. All of us knew him very well, John Herring. Could you share a few words about Jan, his work, legacy, and perhaps his impact on your own thinking?
Right. Well, I pinned a post on my LinkedIn, Skeptical Analyst, dedicated to Jan Herring. I met Jan in 1980 something, and we clicked immediately in understanding that there was no real training, education, curriculum, whatever about the discipline. We were showing up in the conferences when Skip was actually an organization worth talking for. And we, both of us, kind of looked at the audience, and at that time, whoa, there were hundreds and then thousands of people. It's not what you have today. And realized that they really wanted some foundation to how to do their work. Jen came from government. He was a senior executive at the CIA in the technical side. He was not a spy. And I came from the academia, even though I have some intelligence background, it was in the Israeli police and it was mostly running what's known in Hebrew as stinkers and in English as, funny enough, CI, confidential informants. So I had some understanding. And what I took from it is that the whole idea of the intelligence cycle can be explained in 2 minutes and it means nothing. Planning, budget, the communication, kits, all this type of thing. For Jan, that was the essence because they came from government, and everything in government goes in an organized fashion, in a particular style. It's a bureaucratic process as much as it is anything else. So we were yin and yang, but we both agreed that maybe we should teach how to do it from both perspectives, which was basically unheard of because you're supposed to talk in one voice. And from the beginning, we disagreed for everything. So I took upon myself to start it. It was the beginning of the academy. Jen wasn't a businessman. He was really into the art of intelligence or science of intelligence, but he didn't want to do anything with it. So I started the academy, and we booked the Georgetown University for the summer when the students were off, and we didn't know who will even show up. And within a week, we had 45 attendants. So we stopped the registration. We couldn't handle more. And we housed them in the dormitories for undergraduates at Georgetown. You can imagine the smell. It was like a boot camp for these people. They didn't mind whatsoever. We got them into an auditorium at Georgetown Conference Center, whatever it was. And for a whole week, Jen and I fought like cats and dogs about what's the right way to do CI. And it was so much fun. There are still people, maybe even in the audience, Craig will remember it, that were there, and it was such an intense experience. There was, at one time, somebody asked, but you just gave two contradictory answers. And we said, so what? There are more than one ways to do CI. There is no gospel here. But that was Jen and me. And we continued for many years. He would teach at the CIP program. He would teach the last day, which was planning and organizing a CI function. And people loved him. He was a lovable person. I mean, in personality-wise, we're also yin and yang, because I was a cranky old man from the age of 4. And Jen was a lovely, forgiving persona. Always. He was from Missouri. I spent a year in Missouri going for my MBA at a university which is now called University of Central Missouri or something like that. It was an experience in its own coming from Israel into that place. And he was born there and raised them, so we both call it Missouri, because that's how the locals call it. And it was our little joke, etc. And then he wanted to retire. And I was sorry to see him go, but it was his right to leave, and he left on time at the top, unlike me, who was living at the bottom. And that's Jen. Yeah.
God
And I
bless
think
his
I'm the
soul.
next one.
Okay.
I mean, age-wise, I must go sooner.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
you've
come
been,
on, you're a youngster.
well, I'm in my 50s.
You're in your
Um,
50s and you're under Iranian missiles. Maybe, okay, fine. We'll both go at the same time. Fine.
Probably.
Yeah.
You've been a part of the competitive intelligence, like for decades, world, like since its early days. How do you view the evolution of the field?
I used to have a presentation. Some of my old CAPs might remember it. There was one slide showing the evolution from the dinosaurs to, at that time, CI. And I had a lot of fun with this because you could see how CI was developing over years. I remember in 1988, I published the first book called The Business Intelligence System with my ex-wife, Tamar Gilad, or Tamar Shilon, whatever she is now. And that book was about formalizing collection. Why? Because that's how CI started. And that caught the attention of corporate because our pitch was you have so many employees and so many managers who get in touch with the outside world. Why don't you tap them for information? And that was, wow, a revelation. So corporate loved it. Corporate simply loved the idea of tapping their people. Proved to be nonsense at the end because a lot of that information is not strategic and it's not really, might be good for tactical salespeople, etc. But over time, collection became kind of almost an illegitimate son of CI because of the Anti-Espionage Act in 1996, the dumpster diving, all this nonsense. So as the field evolved, collection became less important. It was replaced by sources and techniques of search, which is fine. And then evolving from that was what I consider the most important part of CI, which was analysis and strategic option or recommendations to management. So the evolution was from collection to how do you impact decisions? We mastered collection. I can tell you that it was a wonder. How do you impact management? I don't think I ever mastered it. I mean, I taught it. I taught about cognitive biases and how to use them, manipulating, because I believe in complete Machiavellian approach. But over time, CEOs and their executive team getting mostly the collection bits and pieces didn't see strategic value. So they start pushing it down. And they're so busy. They are talking to Goldman Sachs. They are talking to important people. What do they need? The competitor X put a feature on product one in Uzbekistan. That was what they're getting. So they start pushing it down. They said, well, it's nice, but we don't need it. Give it to marketing. Fine. It went to marketing. From marketing, it went to product. From product, it went to sales. And as it started going down, it became more and more tactical, less and less strategic. And you look at it today and you see that AI is basically replacing those tactical bits and pieces, which I will not speak ill of. Salespeople might benefit, maybe, even though they don't listen to anyone, but it's not strategic. So the evolution of CI started from tactical and ended up in tactical. And I consider it my main failure for not being able to somehow break the blood-brain barrier in which it becomes the trusted advisor of top executives and the boards because they never understood it, they never wanted it, and at the beginning for good reason, at the end for bad reasons, for AI replacing it, but they are left with actually no competitive insight. Now, I worked only with Fortune 500 because they paid, and I'm a mercenary. I will work with anybody, including companies that nobody else wants to touch today in the work world, etc., the defense companies. But when you talk about executives making decisions, what people don't realize is that it's never data-driven. All this campaign for data-driven, complete and utter bullshit. My CIPs now are laughing because my accent in saying bullshit is the wrong accent. Some of them think it sounds Russian. Bullshit. Whatever you want to say, it's still bullshit. Because what you get to the top, they make decisions based upon past history, the ideas from McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, and etc. They listen to their peers, where they play golf or they go to meetings with executives. They don't listen to an internal competitive intelligence expert, and it's a pity because they don't get any fresh insights by talking among themselves. It's an insular circle around top management, and many of them, it's okay for them as long as they keep growing in a way that Wall Street is happy. They don't need competitive insight. And then when the disruption, real or imaginary, comes down on them and cut their tenure, now it's the shortest it's ever been. I don't remember how many years, but really short, 5 years maybe. They suddenly realize that maybe the ideas that they got from the McKinseys and the Goldman Sachs, etc., weren't good enough. But that's the evolution. So I'm hoping that after me, whoever takes over the academy, and I'm selling it to you for $1 if you want it, will be able
Taken.
to $2 or shekel, 1 shekel, right? I forgot. Yeah, 1 shekel. Okay. So whoever comes after me, there's got to be some younger generation who can take it now to the strategic level because of all the uncertainty out there, which AI cannot resolve whatsoever. It was a long answer, but
Yeah. Well, so
that's
so
the
having
evolution.
so having said that, in your opinion, what does it take to be an excellent CI practitioner today? I mean, what skills and qualities are essential?
That's a great idea. When you look at job descriptions, many of them are such total bollocks, it's amazing. Because you don't need an MBA. You need to understand the business. There's no doubt. You need to be able to always think about profit and loss. I mean, two very fundamental issues in corporate, which some people don't even pay attention to. Uh, do you need to be a data analyst? No. With AI, actually, the wonderful thing about AI, it takes all this busy work, bullshit background and does it for you. If you believe in it, fine, but that's a different issue. You need intuition. You need to trust your intuition. You need to always look for something which others don't see. I'm just telling you what I am, which is, of course, projection. It doesn't mean that's what you did in corporate, but I always look for something other people don't see, because otherwise, what's the point? You come to management, you tell them something they know, they don't pay attention to you anymore. And after a while, it's just enough. And if you write the long answers from AI, my God, I fall asleep in the middle of the first paragraph from AI answers. You need to look for the nuggets. For the insight is a nugget. It's like, aha. And you go to management, management says, aha, and you have a career. And my first CI function, many years ago, in 1991, maybe, I don't know, was at Kellogg US, and I tell it always to my CIPs. They know all my stories by now. And I took a case that used to teach at the academy called Kramer's Electronic, a boring case beyond belief. And I got 24 people in a room after I interviewed 150 people at Kellogg. I didn't need to interview 150, but when you're a consultant, you're charged by the hour somewhere, or at least you try to appear as if you do work. So I interviewed 150 people, I got 24 into the room, and we did the Kramer Electronic case. I wanted to see who can see beyond the obvious. And there was one guy, Jeff Webster, who was a pain in the butt to his management because he was always asking, why are we doing this? Because he was seeing blind spots and errors, and they didn't like him to ask a question. He was working in a factory in Battle Creek, Michigan. He was a food engineer, even though his degree was in something physics. This is how it works. and he knew nothing about competitive intelligence. He knew nothing about the business. And I plucked him from the factory and I put him next to Kellogg USA CEO Gary Costley, a great supporter of CI. And for 6 months, Jeff just did nothing but read about the industry, about the company. And every time he found something that was questionable or interesting and he thought people don't know it, he put it in a drawer. Actually, it was the first storage system way before AI because the drawer was distributed among 5 forces from the Porter model that he took from my teaching. And then after 6 months, he did a presentation to the management. And to make long story short, he was promoted to, he was a manager when I plucked him out. They couldn't even give him the salary of a director of intelligence because you don't jump that way in corporate. In 3 or 4 years, he became VP strategy or SVP strategy for Kellogg. And then he left and became a CEO of Carmichael Company, which trained Lance Armstrong without the drugs. And then he left and became the division president at the big meat processing people. They have a biodiesel division. In short, he was a star. And if you ask me what's my real talent, nothing to do with the material, because I'm a corporate clown. I teach Porter and make fun of it, so people enjoy it. But I can see stars from 5 miles ahead. They have this curiosity, they have this skepticism, they don't accept everything, and they don't just become information practitioners, which is what the profession has become for many years. And now they're losing their job because information practitioners, you don't need them anymore. AI is an information practitioner. Well, I did a little study. One last sentence. I did a little, before we came to this session, I asked AI, how can a CI professional beat you? And the answer, of course, is trivial for me. Whatever AI says, it's trivial because you already seen it somewhere. But it says it's in judgment, in context, in insight, in synergy, things that AI says, things that I can do, but never as good as humans can do. Now, that's an answer to appease me, typical AI, but it's very true. I'm looking for people who don't accept information for what it is.
Okay, fair enough. So, both of us teach, and students often ask me, what can I actually do with a CI diploma? Will I find a job in CI, and what will that job look like? How do you answer this question? I mean, let me ask you another tricky one. Would you encourage your own children or grandchildren pursue a career in CI?
That's a toughie. Regarding diploma, I don't think it's a degree, my opinion. I mean, there is a university in the United States, Mercyhurst, that teaches, and I don't want to speak ill of other efforts to teach CI. I'm all for teaching CI any way you can. So I don't know if you need diploma or you don't need diploma. The people who come to the academy are people who have experience in the industry, and either they were put in the role and they had no idea what to do with it, or they come after a few years and say, I don't know what I'm doing aside from collecting information. Can I do something better than that? So whether it's a degree, nano degree, diploma, whatever, I don't care as long as somebody shows them there is more to CI than stupid information collection. And it's more than data driven. I call it data driven because that's not how you impact management. But you asked me a different question. Would I advise my children to go into CI as a career? And I asked my son to take over the academy. He said, no, he's a cybersecurity analyst. He's not. So I don't give career advice to my kids. let them find their way in the world. I have been passionate about CI the way I define it, which is finding those things that others don't see all my life. And I never wanted to do anything else. I mean, I didn't find any joy in doing economics. I'm an economist by training. I didn't find joy in being an MBA career-wise. I have an MBA. I found joy, and it started with this wargaming, but also in the seminars later on, in going into the room full of people and seeing what they don't see. That was my passion, which is what intelligence is. And when you think about the Israeli experience, especially with October 7, it's this non-commissioned officer in 8200, the woman, and everybody knows the story, who found something nobody else saw and nobody else wanted to see. She is a real intelligence officer. I find it the same way. I had a passion for it. It doesn't mean everybody else has a passion. For some people, it's a task. And
Right.
as a task, I think everybody should have it in corporate. How can you be a marketing manager without understanding your competition a little better than what you read on the website? How can you be business development without seeing trends coming up? You can be a salesperson. A salesperson bullshit the way to anything. But if you are in the thinking profession of strategy, business development, marketing, how can you go anywhere without understanding competitive intelligence? A question to be solved by you, Amir.
Yeah, probably. So from your perspective, what are employees looking for today in CI practitioners? Have these expectations changed significantly in recent years?
So I do surveys at the academy. I used to do surveys at the academy every few years, asking my CIPs those type of questions. I ask them, where do you think you still need more help? What do users want from you? And there is no single answer because it's idiosyncratic to the culture they're growing. So if you are in sales-oriented organization, they want support to sales. If you are in established Fortune 100 corporation, they want threat type or risk type of warnings. If it's in a startup, some of them really want to understand how to break through to a market, which is a strategic idea. There aren't too many of them, but I don't think there is a single answer. Every one of my CIPs faces a little bit different environment, a little bit different culture, a little bit different support, etc. Too many users at the top just want the information. Give me the facts, which is the wrong approach. If you work in an organization like that says, give me the fact, get the fuck out, because there is no future there to CI. And the facts, just ask the AI. It will tell you whatever fact you want to have. You want these facts? Wonderful. You want these facts? I have many of them. There's no judgment.
So if I'm a decision maker, should I develop CI capabilities internally by training my own employees, or should I hire an external consultant?
I regard the understanding of the business and the company as more important than understanding of the intelligence cycle, so to speak, or collection techniques, so to speak. And with AI today, a monkey can do the research. Actually, monkeys do the research. But when it comes to the question external and internal, I don't care. If you are an external advisor that understands the industry, wonderful. If you're an internal employee that understands the industry, one. The only difference will be that an internal employee will understand also the culture. And the one unresolved,
And
the
costs
culture.
less.
And what?
And costs less.
Oh, cost less by far. There's no doubt. But sometimes you want an outsider because they might have access to research you don't have. But most of the time, you want somebody who understands the culture inside, because the role of CI today, those who survive, and many of them do, my CIPs are doing quite well. Not all of them, but most of them. You build coalitions, which is a political element of CI, which always should be in a corporation. You build coalition for your perspectives, you get people on your side, you get experts to help you. All that the external project will not get. So having an internal somebody, doesn't have to be full-time, but having an internal somebody who knows the people, knows the management, knows how to actually convince people, persuade people, manipulate people, whatever you want to call it, is more important than having an objective research from outside, though the objective research from outside can help the internal employee, there's no doubt.
Right. So how about the small, mid-sized companies? I mean, let's take, for example, war games that are often considered a costly investment. Uh, uh, are they relevant, by the way, for small and mid-sized businesses as well? And how can companies with limited budget still benefit from them?
Well, they shouldn't hire me, that's for sure. Limited budget is the trigger point. No, I'm kidding. I wrote a book called Business War Games, in which I say it should be simple, it should be cheap, you can do it yourself. I teach a course on war gaming, in which I tell my CIPs, you can do it. It's not a matter of budget, it's not a matter of skill, it's a matter of confidence. You walk into a room with people who are senior than you, and you're supposed to actually manage it in a way that it doesn't get out of bound into prior beliefs and biases and political fights inside the room. They don't have that. But as far as small to medium-sized companies, the challenge is a little different. I think everybody needs a war game because in a war game, you kind of map the reactions to what you plan to do. Unless you believe in 100% luck, you want to be prepared to, if they do this, I do that. It's common sense. But with the small and medium-sized companies, small companies that are still owned, the owner thinks they know everything. Very difficult to run a war game there. Mid-sized companies usually focus on other things because the competition usually bears down on them and much more pressure than the large companies. So even if they can run a war game, they think, well, maybe I should put the money into something else. For example, German companies, mid-type, there is a term for it in German, middle something, and they excel in particular technical skills, but they have no competitive intelligence whatsoever because that's not the focus of the manager. It's usually large companies that run war games because it's kind of resource-rich companies that say, let's validate our thinking. I think war games should be everywhere, and it doesn't have to have many people. You can take 4 or 5 and say, you play this, you play that, you follow some structure, you follow some analytical frameworks, which are not difficult to follow, and you really do an honest assessment of your own strategies going forward. Why wouldn't you? It's a matter of ego. But other than that, I think everybody can benefit from it. With Israeli companies, ooh, don't get me started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, the age of AI, but is there still room for humans? I mean, should CI practitioners learn human tradecraft to support the organization objectives?
When you say human tradecraft, you mean what?
Anything that is not digital?
Is there anything left that is not yet digital? I wonder. I'll say again what I asked AI, how can we beat you? And he says judgment, context, things that AI cannot do. So is there a role for human? Of course there is a role for human. The problem is when management diverting all extra resources into the AI craze, they don't have money for training of the people, they don't have money for projects, they don't have money for anything. And if they think they can save a few pennies and they get rid of the CI person, they are nuts because the AI today with the tokens cost way more. The AI without the tokens is not worth the money, even though you don't pay. And the human, if they have the judgment, if they have the context, if they have the connections, if they have the ability to see the insight, AI insight is horrible. I'm teaching in next week, June 22 to 24, my last public appearance ever, aside from the Oscars. I'm teaching a course in which I compare the answers that you get from CI frameworks, Michael Porter thinking, what I teach, and AI answers. Now, I'll be honest, AI is wonderful, it's great. You get all the most trivial, basic answers you want. You don't get insight. You don't get the subtleties that actually make a difference in competition. So, yes, you need a human. But how do you convince top management? I don't know. So I'm taking that course
What do you
after.
mean you don't know?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm old, I'm cranky, I've done my best. I don't know how to convince management that the human is so much more important in competitive insight than AI. So I'm taking the courses that I had, I combine them to the June to 24, etc. And then I'm taking them in-house. If there are teams that want them in a corporation, I'd love to do this comparison. But I know the mindset of executives today. We are in the middle of panic. And when you're in the middle of panic, we have to wait. We have to be patient. Maybe something will come back. But right now, you talk to management, all they want to hear is AI.
So before you disappear into the shadows,
Mhm.
I have to ask you, and please give me a straightforward answer because this question was also asked in the chat. How do you improve your chances of winning today? Whether it, deals, clients, roles, what are your top 3 tips for anyone who competes? And I'll add to it Jean-Francois' question. What magic powers should someone possess to identify pattern and nuggets other people do not see?
I'll start with the first answer. And I wanted me to be honest, if I knew how to win, I wouldn't have to take the academy into the shadows. I don't know how to win anymore. But I'm a strategy professor, okay? So the way you win in competition is by having a strategy, and people don't understand what strategy means. But if you follow Michael Porter, I follow his teaching, there are some tests for strategic options, not whether or not they'll succeed. There is never an answer to that, but whether or not they are bound to fail. So I can identify things, as Michael Porter identified them himself first, that will make strategies bound to fail. I can't identify things that will make strategies successful because strategies, the way that Michael Porter defines, are unique. Now, somebody asked the second question, what's your tips to winning? The winning is you have to have a unique strategy that gives value. Easy to say, incredibly difficult to come up with. So most companies don't do strategies. If they are already established, they just continues what they do. If not, they acquire somebody else. If they are startups, they think the technology will win. Strategy is such a difficult topic that most people just throw the name. Yeah, our strategy is, and you look at the strategy and they are all goals. We will be an innovator. How? Where? With what? So the way to win, there's no formula and there are no tips aside from you need something that others don't do. You need to be able to defend it. And you need to be able to actually fit your internal activities around that strategy. I teach it, or at least I used to teach it. I teach it part of wargaming. The second question was, what was the second question?
What magic powers should someone possess to identify patterns and nuggets that other people do not see?
How the hell do I know? It just came to me. I mean, I identified that there's no education in CI. How the hell did I know that? Well, I went to a conference and people were asking how to do things. And I say, well, I think I know how to do. There is no magic power. There is this passion to be different. If you want to be like everybody else, don't go into competitive insight because insight is something others don't do that you think that will succeed. Will it succeed? Nobody knows. But if you do what others are doing, I can assure you, risk, you're not taking risks, but you're also not going to be very successful. So the magic is not the magic, it's your personality. Is there a magic in personality? Then being a cranky old man is magic.
God forbid.
Oh, you'll get there, Amir. Give it a few years, for God's sake.
I
Don't...
know, I know, I
Yeah,
know. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Avtamo here asks this question. I'm just starting in the business of CI and currently looking for a job. What do I do tomorrow morning?
I can't answer without knowing the particular of that particular person. I mean, this is such a general question. You're starting in CI, what does it mean? If you,
In your core.
it depends upon where you are, what industry experience do you have. I usually advise people without experience, graduate from here, graduate from there, and even veterans, because they come to me, veterans with intelligence experience in the US military, come and ask me, do you take a GI Bill for the training? And I say, no, not because of the GI Bill, but because I can assure you, you get a job, you have no industry experience. Just knowing the elements of intelligence won't help you whatsoever. So my advice is go to other functions first. Establish yourself in the company as somebody who understands the business. Finance, wonderful. Marketing, excellent. Strategy, nobody will take you anyway. Market research, iffy, because it pigeonhole you already in the particular aspect of quantitative analysis, and most of the best intelligence is qualitative. But get your feet wet first. Don't go and say, I want to be a CI in a company when you know nothing about the company. You need a few years in the company.
So in that case, let me ask my own question. What should you not do as a CI practitioner or someone aspiring to become one?
Don't assume that because you have a degree in CI or you have military intelligence experience, that will get you a job. It won't. And also don't assume that because you work in a company and you have established yourself and you got that you can jump to other industries. It doesn't work this way. Not in CI. In marketing, yes, but CI is very specific. It's not a general principle of marketing or sales. So you have to decide if you want to be a CI person in an industry, that's a career path, but don't stay in it. My recommendation is never stay in it. 3, 4 years a CI, 5 years, okay. Unless you're like me, an addict to this idea of intelligence as insight, then move. Move to product management, move to market, climb into line responsibilities. My best CIPs moved up from it. So my advice is what not to do. Don't stay in a CI role for too many years. You get stale, you get mold spots on you, and they usually throw you after that.
So let me ask a kind of a provocative question. I mean, looking back, what would you have done differently in your career?
It's not provocative because my answer would have been nothing. I had so much fun teaching, especially when it was face to face, when we used to be in Boston, and I get those 30 or 40 new faces in the room, and I kick their ass so badly. And I give them such boring cases. But at the end, you could see their eyes kind of like, it was so much fun. The only thing I miss, there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing I could do about it even, was actually I left academia. I was a tenured professor at Rutgers. And I left it. I left a tenure position, which you usually leave only if you committed a capital crime and you are about to be put to death, not before. And I love teaching undergraduates, not graduates, but undergraduates, because they believed everything I said, which was, which was such a great experience. But after Jenny and I started the academy, it exploded. And when it exploded, I had to make a choice. Do I bring in the graduate student to teach, which is the typical academic in America? If you're tenured, you can bring in graduate student most of the time. And I thought I'll be really cheating the students because they wanted to hear from me, not from a graduate. So I had to make a very difficult choice to leave a tenured position and to take the academy up. And I left, and I still miss. I still miss teaching undergraduates. I wish there was a way to go back. There isn't. There is no way to go back. But the only thing, what would I do different? I can't do it differently, but that's my only regret that I had to leave the academia. Other than that, I had a lot of fun doing the academy. I never thought it would succeed that way. I never thought I'll succeed this way. I'm not a business person. Being an entrepreneur for me was what? All I wanted was to write books. So I wrote books. And all of a sudden, this business takes off. It's like, what do you want from me? I didn't do anything. It's like it happened.
Right. So, another kind of well, not provocative, but how do you see the role of organizations like Skip and the CI Fellows, in promoting the CI field? Where should these organizations focus their efforts in the short to mid-term?
Next.
Next.
Okay, let me
Uh,
ask you. No, 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 Amir. You're not getting off that easily. No.
I'm getting like consultation for free.
And no,
Uh,
that's fine. But I'm going to ask you a question, and you know what I'm going to ask, and I want you to answer. Why the hell did you take upon yourself that job with the CI fellows?
no comment.
Okay.
Next
Next,
question.
next
Next.
question.
Where do we go from here? What does the future hold for CI?
You're asking the wrong person because I'm really at the end of my career. It's up to you. It's really up to you. It's not up to any other organization. They don't exist anymore. Skip is dead. ICI in Germany, I don't think they even exist anymore. And the academy is now going into in-house only. So you are left alone to actually take wherever you want to take the field. You're the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the future, and it's not me, it's him.
Wow, it was worth inviting you to this already. Terrific. Luis Madureira from Portugal, our friend.
Yeah, my Luis, yes,
He would like
CIP2.
me to ask. He would like me to ask you what is your disc profile?
What is my what?
Disc profile, DISC profile. That explain why you love
DISC. I don't know what that means.
DISC profile, disc profile.
I don't know what it means.
Luis,
Luis is a recent PhD, so he asks questions that only PhDs can answer. My PhD is so old I don't remember it. What are you asking, Luis? I don't know what you're talking about.
by the way, speaking of Portugal and other countries, other cultures, other schools of thought, is CI, to your opinion, more recognized in other countries than uh, uh, in some countries than others? I mean, where does this discipline flourish the most? I mean,
United
what?
US by
US.
far.
And
Yeah,
is American CI different than Argentinian CI and Chinese CI?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't know about Argentinian CI.
Just,
I have
throwing.
one graduate in Argentina, and I haven't talked to him in 20 years. It was good. Chinese CI? My God, don't start me on. I don't think there is CI there. There is all Red Army espionage, so much more sophisticated than our CI, but it's not CI. Uh, Europe, I used to teach in Europe. We used to have our headquarters in Europe, in Amsterdam, 50 yards from a cafe next to the university. So the smell was fantastic. And I used to come into the class half stoned just from walking in the street. European CI people were excellent, were probably more broadly educated than Americans, but nobody paid attention to them. I mean, the hierarchy in European companies is so rigid, you can't go to the VP and say, we are making a mistake. No way. So many of them just left. I mean, there is no CI in Europe, as far as I'm concerned. Luis is actually teaching at Nova. I mean, he's involved in other things. You can survive as being a CI person in Europe alone. So US stays the bastion of CI. It's just a matter of whether or not AI will kill it, and I hope not. But we were always a few decades ahead of anybody else in the world, maybe because of resources, maybe because of desire to innovate, maybe because of entrepreneurial spirit, whatever. So there are no other countries that I know. And I taught in several countries. I don't think anybody came close to what we used to have in the United States, and we still have, because my CIPs are still active in a lot of the Fortune 500.
Well said. So, Ben, any final practical message for the audience before we say our goodbyes?
Practical message.
Yeah.
Well, if you can find a team inside the organization who wants to actually see the difference between CI and AI, or what I would call AI plus CI, or just AI, which is choice by some companies, talk to me. I'll take my course in which I do the comparison, and I'll take it to your company, and I'll charge very little because I think it's a fight, my last fight, to try and help. So if you want that, if you can find a team like that, talk to me. The last practical message is listen to Amir. From now on, he is the voice, I'm the shadow.
Don't forget, I just purchased ACI for 1 shekel.
Yeah, 1 shekel, right. So from now on, he is the ACI CEO for 1 shekel. There is something in the Bible about 1 shekel, isn't it? I don't remember which
You
one.
know.
Okay.
I don't know, but Ben, this was a fun, insightful, and truly enlightening session. I wish we had another hour, but our time is up. So I'd like to thank you for your honesty and wisdom and good luck. And I'd like to thank again our sponsors and thank you all, our attendees. Now, last but not least, we'd love for you to complete the survey posted in the chat. And as a thank you, one participant will win a copy of Jay Nakagawa's newly published book, The Unconventional Strategist: Building, Keeping, and Thriving in Your Career. A huge thank to you, Jay, for generously donating a copy. So everyone, see you all in our July webinar. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Till next time. All the best.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, Ben.
L'chayecha, Amir.
Take
Ciao.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.